Hello there, my name is Paul Harvey and I am with Alan Long today from the Long Partnership. And we've been at the Highland Spotlight exhibition at the Kingsmill Hotel. Alan, did you have any reflections that you wanted to make from the show? I tell you what came across for me wandering around was certainly this big data protection thing is going to be a big conversation next year because lots of people were talking about that. And also cybersecurity obviously keeps coming up.
Well, I think it's quite a good point here because, obviously you wander around the show and you stop to talk to people and you have various conversations. And sometimes you know them, sometimes you don't. And it just happened that I was at the Pisces.net stand and chatting with Andy Kings, and I know Andy Kings well enough. But I suppose I visited the stand because he had some cakes. But the conversation we had was about cybersecurity for charities and the funding that's now available for that. And it's something I'd never thought of before. That sort of casual conversation just must happen all the time at somewhere like Spotlight.
It does, and I think that's the beauty of these kind of big networking events. It was a really great day for us. We were in quite early, setting up the stand, and we had a crossbow, which was always going to cause some interest. And do you want to say any more about that, Alan? Your ideas of the crossbow and.
Well, the crossbow worked very well, but I think it was also the fact that whenever anybody was using it, we played some pretty loud music, which I think my enduring picture of the day was watching people at the neighbouring stands jigging along to the music.
Well, it was the William Tell Overture, which I did think was quite appropriate. It was interesting because being across the hall, I could hear it from various people saying, "Oh, what's happening over there?" I said, "Oh, it's just the William Tell Overture. This is the crossbow. You need to go and have a look."
Well, we certainly had plenty of people visit the stand.
That's for sure.
And I think most of the ones who visited our stand went away with a smile on their face.
Well, that was the idea. That was the idea, to be different. Anyway, the whole idea about today was about are you on target? And that's why we were using the crossbow sense of it. Really. It is about people setting up a business and starting a business. And somewhere in the midst of all that, they lose sight of the target. And I'm sure you're more experienced of spotting this than I am, Alan.
Yes, I think one of the things we see with a lot of people who set up a business is they have this idea they want to set up a business, they want to run it, but they don't actually know where they're going. And I think one of the things which we found very useful this last few years is helping people to focus on their business strategies, where they're going. Not just let's grow 2 or 3% each year for the next 10 years, but what's that sort of vision in their head that they don't really talk about? Let's draw that out, and then let's plan how to bring that vision into reality.
So that was the idea of the event at Spotlight. That's why we did the stand. The whole idea was, are you on target? And obviously the crossbow and the target that we had there was a bit of fun for it. But you were directing people towards an opportunity to work with you.
Yes, what we're planning on doing over this next few months is to offer free of charge. I'll explain why in a minute. Strategic planning meetings generally take 2.5 to 3 hours, and they're done on a one-to-one basis. But what should happen is that somebody comes in at the start of the meeting. They understand their business, but they probably don't have a very clear idea where they're going. And at the end of the meeting, what we've done is to find out where they actually want to get to, what's their destination. And we've also mapped out a route of how to get there.
So this is a process you take people through, and it takes about 2 hours, two and a bit hours to get through it.
Yes. And just to explain why it's free is because we're, like other businesses, developing. And we want to build a little community, if you like, of people working much closer with us so that we have a greater input into the development of their businesses. This process of bringing people on board, going through these strategic planning meetings, it helps us to refine what we're offering, but also helps to show other people just exactly what we can provide. And I think over the course of the next few months, we'll build up quite a body of people who've been through this process, and we'll get some very good feedback.
So, Alan, this strategy session sounds really, really useful. Is there any kind of qualifying process? Because I guess, it's not suitable for every business.
No, and I think what we're looking for is businesses with an aspiration to grow. Because at the end of the day, what we're talking about here is a business is at point A and it wants to get to point B. So we need to establish what point B is and then decide on the route. Now, if point B is the same place as point A, this isn't going to help them. So we're looking for businesses where we feel that putting in this amount of effort will actually help them to get where they want to go.
That sounds brilliant. Okay, so I know on the day there were some forms to fill in to actually get one of these strategy sessions. We'll make that available to people. The link will be somewhere on this, either below this conversation or on the page somewhere. And so they can fill out that form, and then there'll be details where to send that form, where to email it to. Yeah. So we'll go from there.
Once we have the forms, we'll go through them and we'll make a decision on which businesses we feel would benefit most from these sessions, and then we'll be scheduling those over the course of the next 6 months.
Oh dear, the recording seems to have stopped, but I think you've got the gist of where we're going with this. So I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen to this broadcast, and as the sound of Rossini builds in the background, to let you know you've been listening to Paul Harvey and Alan Long from the Long Partnership, making life less taxing.